Hi guys, this is going to be a story time on when I first found out I was pregnant and how I told my friends and my family. Now, at the time, I'm going to take it back all the way March 6, 2017. At the time, I was 20 years old. So I was 20 and pregnant with my first kid. I now have, I have my firstborn, which is the story I'm telling you now, and I have my second. So I only have two kids. But I'm 23 now. About to be 24 in August, So it all started March 6, 2017. One weekend, I came down to visit my grandma and my mom. At the time, I was resigning at my aunt's, and I was having really bad chest pains. Not like chest pains, like it were like bad chest pains. It was like I was having like I don't know if everybody had any experiences. It seemed like my heartbeat was like racing, like it was beating more than usual. So my hands weren't like staying still at all. So I told my mom I wanted to go to like the ER because I think my thyroid is overactive. So when that happened, we go to the ER. I told my mom, is she coming in? She said no. So she said she's gonna be in a truck doing her coupons. So I said, okay. Now, remind you, I think I'm going to be in and out because it's 12 o'clock at night. The neighborhood I lived in, there's not much that goes on, and the ER shouldn't be that busy. So when I got in there, they took my name down. They put the wristband on my arm. I literally sat in the emergency room for like not even 5 minutes until we back to triage. So everything happened within under 10 minutes. Then when they sat me in the back, and when I was actually in the emergency room, like my own room, I literally sat in that room for 2 hours. You know how like you go to the emergency room and they hook you up to machines? Like they'll put things on your finger, they put like the cup around your arm. No, they didn't do that. The triage nurse took me back to the room. She sat me down, she closed the curtain and said, oh, your doctor and nurse will be here shortly. It was 2 hours when I seen a doctor and nurse. I couldn't tell you how mad I was getting. I kept pressing the buttons, and then one time I hit it again, and then the one nurse came back and I said, you know what's taking so long? I've already been back here almost close to 2 hours. And she says, oh, we just got swamped with people. I said, well, I've been here before them. I said, when I came in here, there was nobody in here. She's like, oh, I know. She said, we're coming here shortly. So then another hour passed by. So now it's 2 hours going into 3. So, mind you, I got there at 12:30. It's now about to be 4 o'clock. So, around like, what can I say what time it was? Like, it was around like, oh my god, it was either 2:45 or 3:15, either one of them times. And they came back, the nurse came back. She said, like, when the nurse came back, everything was like, they got everything done within that hour. So I was like, hey, I like this. So when that happened, the nurse said, you know, the doctor ordered for you to get a chest x-ray. I said, okay. She said, before we do that, we have to draw blood, to check your thyroid levels, and to see if you're pregnant. When she said that about the pregnancy, I was like, I'm not pregnant though. Well, I thought I wasn't. She said no. She's like, it's mandatory to do it for, you know, I think she said 55 and under. Like for a certain age and under, anytime you go into the emergency room, they will test you to see if you're pregnant. Just in case if they have to do like testing with like an MRI or a CAT scan, the radiation on the machines, they will have to protect your belly because of the baby. So, because I was getting a chest x-ray done. So, they took my blood. They said we'll be back in like 30 minutes to a half hour. Well, half hour. I said, okay. So I'm on the phone with my boyfriend. I'm telling him what's going on. My mom calls me. I said, they're doing, you know, a chest x-ray. They're taking my blood for my thyroid level. She said, okay, then I'll be in there within like in the next 30 minutes. So then when that happened, the doctor came back because I was in the room with the curtains. So I seen his feet coming back towards my room. And he looked at me. He's like, no, he was like, you know, your thyroid levels came back, you know, normal. Well, he said they're normal, but he's like, just to be on the safe side, just, you know, schedule an appointment with an endocrinologist. I said, okay, But mind you, I totally forgot about the pregnancy test. And then I had my boyfriend on mute, and I put my phone under my lap. So he said, but your pregnancy test though came back positive. When he literally, this was my face when he told me that. He was like, oh, your pregnancy test came back positive. I was like, that was my face. Like, that was literally my face when I looked at the doctor. Like, I am pregnant. I was so in shock. Like, they took blood out of this arm right here, and I told him, My dumbass. I told him, can they take blood from out of this arm? And when he looked at me when I said that, he looked at me. He said it would still be the same result. I'm more of the like I have to see it to believe it type person. And then he's like, oh, I understand. I said there's no way I can pee on something to see it. He's like, even if I peed in a cup, they will still have to send it down to a lab and it'll be on paperwork. Now at the time when I got my paper, you know how you get your discharge papers, it'll tell you all the testings you have done. Now at the time I didn't know to look for HCG level, which is it's a hormone they detect in pregnancy in order to see if you're pregnant. So at the time I didn't know to look for that on the piece of paper. So what I did, and I told him, I was like, well, how many weeks am I? He said somewhere from 8 weeks and under. So I was like, and so in the back of my mind, and then after he told me that, I hung up with, he left. He said, we're gonna do a chest x-ray, we're gonna put something around your belly to protect, the radiation from the baby. And in the back of my mind, I'm like, what? Like, I'm pregnant. I can't even get over the fact I'm pregnant. I'm like, say, fuck chest, I can't, I was so stuck on stupid. And then after the chest x-ray was done, he said, get your results within like the next hour. So now it's like 3:30. And then the nurse comes back in. She said, your chest x-ray was fine, She said, I'm gonna get your discharge papers ready. And thank God when she was taking the IV out of my hand, my mom called. And my mom, she was like, I'm about to come in the ER, I said, okay. And I looked at the nurse and I was like, listen, I just found out I was pregnant. I don't have a job. My living situation at the time was kind of messed up. I said, I'm only 20. My mom's going to beat the shit out of me if she finds out I'm pregnant right now. She's like, is she coming back in the ER? I said, yes, she is. So the nurse was like, she's like, I'll play it off like, you're not pregnant. Because you know how, like, if you're in the hospital and you get your discharge papers, the doctors and nurses will read off the paper, like, this is what you have to do. This is the medicine you got to take. And they'll read it out loud. So the nurse left to get my discharge papers. My mom comes into the room. My mom was like, so what's going on? I lied out, made up a lie really quick. I said it was my thyroid. They said my thyroid's overactive. And then she's like, okay. So the nurse came in. My mom's sitting here. This is my stretcher. I'm on the stretcher bed. My mom's here. I'm here. The nurse walks into the room. So she's in between me and my mom. She has her back face towards my mom's. The nurse is the real MVP. Give her that. But so when that happened, she was telling me, she on paper said prenatal pills. So I had to take that. And then I'll sign off the discharge papers, and we left. Now, when we got into the car, remind you, now it's like 4 o'clock in the morning. Me and my mom are still going to my aunt's house, who lives in Ben Salem. And then my mom was like, I want to go to CVS real quick. I said, okay. So we go to CVS, and so my mom, she's a big person on coupons. So she'll be in there for like 2-3 hours looking for one coupon if she had to. So she was looking in the makeup, the hair. Me, I'm gonna sit my fat ass down, and I'm still in shock that I'm pregnant. So when that happened, I went over. Now CVS is here, and Wawa literally sits in the same parking lot. So I walked over to Wawa, ordered food, and I literally walked over to CVS. If you guys ever been inside CVS and you see where like you hook your phone up to the machines to print your pictures out, I was right there just eating my food, and in my head I'm like, I'm pregnant. Like, this ain't right. Like, it don't seem right. In my head, I'm still not comprehending I'm pregnant. Like, I'm going to see it to believe it. Now, I threw out my discharge papers because at the time I didn't know, to look for, like, the HCG level part. And then, and I forgot to tell you how I told my boyfriend. He was the first person I told. So, let me rewind it back. So, when the doctor left, I took the phone from underneath my lap, and I told my boyfriend, I said, you won't believe what the doctor just told me. He said, what? I said, I'm pregnant. He said, what? I said, yeah. He said, I'm pregnant. And I was like, I said, I don't know what to do. Then I said, my mom's gonna kill me. And he's like, no, just calm down. He's like, when I see you in a couple days, he was like, we'll just talk about it. I said, okay. So me and him hung up the phone, and that's when my mom came in, and So fast forward to when we're at CVS again. So we're at CVS. I'm like, wait, CVS got pregnancy tests. So I went and I bought a pregnancy test. And I see my mom was still doing coupons. So I'm trying to like make sure my mom don't see me buy it at the same time. So I bought a clear blue test. Now for me and for all the moms who were ever pregnant, to me I recommend a clear blue pregnancy test. First response is okay, but I got better accurate test results with clear blue than I did with first response. And that will be in my second story time with my second son. And So when that happened, I bought Clear Blue test. I bought the 2-in-1 package. It was one digital and one it was like one digital and one like with the lines. Now I was gonna pee in the CVS bathroom, but I ran over to Wawa instead, and I took a fountain cup. And sometimes I had trouble when I pee on the pregnancy test, and my pee kind of like goes up on the stick, and it'll just mess up the whole entire pregnancy test. So this time I couldn't mess it up because I really wanted to see the results. So what I did is I peed in the cup, and I kind of like did my pregnancy test in there, and I waited like 5 to 6 seconds. I took them out, and I laid them on there, and I literally was standing in the stall waiting, and then they both said pregnant. When I seen a digital pop up and it said pregnant, I was so like in disbelief, like, oh my god, I'm pregnant. Like, yo, I was like, I'm really pregnant. I can't believe it. Like, there's like a human being growing inside me. So when that happened, I took a picture with my phone with the pregnancy tests, and I threw out the pregnancy tests. And then I went back to CVS. Me and my mom drove all the way to my aunt's house, which was one I like. If no traffic, it's probably like 25, 30-minute drive. So we get there, we go to sleep. And my mom, when I woke up, I think my mom already knew I was pregnant. She's like, Jesse, you don't have to lie. I looked at her, I'm like, what you mean? She's like, you don't have to lie. I know you're pregnant. I'm like, in the back of my head, I'm like, how does this girl know I'm pregnant? I didn't even tell her. And I know my boyfriend wouldn't tell her, so in the back of my mind, I'm like, Mom, I'm not pregnant. She's like, Jess, I'm not stupid. She's like, I was 21. She's like, I have 3 kids. And then I looked at her. She's like, tell me the truth. She's like, are you pregnant? And I looked at her and I said, yeah. She was like, why would you get pregnant? You know how moms get really disappointed. She's like, why would you get pregnant if you know the living situation we're in? At the time, I said, I know. I said, I'm thinking at the time. I said it. I said, I don't know. I said, I'm going to think about abortion. She's like, you're really going to get an abortion? And I said, I think so. I said, I had to talk over with his dad. Because to me, this is the way I look at it. For certain mothers out there, ew. And I don't care what anybody says. This is just my opinion. And I see this a lot on Facebook. When girls get pregnant, now I'm going to take this off topic. Well, but when people get pregnant, and let's say if the how can I say it? Like, let's say if the girls don't want to have the babies, right? And the dads do want to have, like, if the dads want you to have the kid, how can I say it? Like, okay, pretend I'm pregnant, right? And I don't want the baby, but my boyfriend does. But if I go for it to get an abortion, I do it. To me, my family looks at it like that, like, you shouldn't do that. If the father wants to have the baby, you have to have the baby for the dad, you know? That's the way they look at it. But, so I told my mom, let's fast forward back to where I was. That made no sense with what I was just talking about. So, I told my mom, I'm thinking about getting an abortion. For everyone who knows me, I don't believe in abortions. But at the time, I had no job. We were kind of homeless at the time. And I like wasn't ready to raise a child, to have like another response, like a whole life, another human being to take care of. Like, this was my first time having a baby. And then my mom was like, are you sure? I had to talk over it with my boyfriend to see if he wants to get an abortion, right? So 2 days later goes by, and you know, me and my boyfriend talk. He sees me, and I said, I think we should get an abortion. He said, are you sure you want to do that? And I said, positively. But I really didn't want to get an abortion. But at the time, I was like, I had no job. But then my dad found out I was pregnant, and he called me. And he was like, I want to talk to you and, you know, your boyfriend. Come down to the house. So my sister drove me and my boyfriend down to my dad's house. And if it wasn't for my dad, I think I wouldn't, like, if it wasn't for my dad, I wouldn't be having my first kid. So I looked at, and my dad was like, oh, I found out you're pregnant. Why didn't you tell me? I said, because, you know, I don't know how to go, like I didn't know how to tell people I was pregnant. Because after I told my boyfriend that morning, I told my sister, like, the next night, and then that's how she told my mom. And then my sister told my dad, obviously. And then my dad was like, he looked at both of us in the face. I said, I'm thinking about getting an abortion. And my dad looked at me straight in my face. He says, "You're not getting an abortion." And I said, he was like, first off, he was like, you guys had sex without protection, right? And I said, obviously, yes. He was like, so you're asking to get pregnant. So that means you have to take care of the responsibilities that you make. It ain't the kid's fault to want to be brought into this world for parents who don't want to take care of the baby. You laid down, you made the baby, now you take care of your responsibilities. Time to grow up and take care of what you made. So after he told me that, I was like, you know what? I said, I'm gonna have this baby. And I looked at him and I said, he said, are you sure? And I said, positively. So I'm gonna have the baby. I want the baby. So it was like, I found out in March. My first ultrasound was like the end of like, my God, when was my first ultrasound was like the end of April, the beginning of May. That's when the first ultrasounds determine your due date. So my due date was actually November 3rd, 2017. But how I told my friends and my family, I waited until I was like 11 weeks when they did the no, I didn't. I'm not gonna I'm fraud. I waited until it wasn't like my first ultrasound, it was my second ultrasound, where it looks like kind of like a blob on the screen, and I posted a picture and I said I'm gonna be a mom, and I got like so many likes, shares, congrats, and how my boyfriend told his mom, I think he said he called her or he texted her and just said Jess is pregnant. And she wasn't really so happy about that, but whose mom is gonna be happy about their son getting pregnant? And fast forwarded to like July, I got a job at Papa John's. He has a job at Cracker Barrel. We were working, making money. And around July, I found out the sex of the baby, which is a boy. I had my baby boy. So, but now my son, he's about to be 3 in October. His name is Damien. He's my firstborn. Now for labor and delivery part, that's going to be another story, because that's even longer. And if this video didn't come out right, this is my first time making a video, and my leg hurts because it's kind of like bent like this, and I have a lot of pain going through my thigh because I'm fat. But that's a story about when I told and how I found out I was pregnant. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it.